Look at you. Dang. What's going on? Only doesn't realize. Like 15 calls. I was trying to call you. I was trying to call you. It's like, look, I'm gonna be, like roaming around. If someone needs, a shuttle back, I'll take them. So I'm just sitting here driving around in circles. This is like everyone's here that they don't need a shuttle. Man, I didn't get one fare. I didn't get not one pickup. It would not be good for Uber. Well, Uber has an app. What's that? Oh, man, I didn't know that. Some people like. I thought you were just trying to add mileage to your car. Yeah. Submit it. Yeah. 12 miles on Saturday. Which ones? The ones that are blonde. I hate to describe it like that. But I mean, there it is. Picture. Right? Stop fighting and smile. Take a picture. So I mean, this phase, we have 3 grades on the way. So it's just like here we go again. It's starting over. It's just please stop. Somebody's moving. I don't want you doing as soon as we get to see where yeah, just the girls go. Because they want cotton candy, but they're doing it to the feet. Yeah, switch seats. Why? Switch seats.
What am I There we go.
So just yes, please. Go that way. Go that way, not this way. Because you're gonna. But I made sure I got it.
And now you got all these utilities that you always had to keep there.
A little concerning, but yeah, we're gonna roll with it.
I got to do Mama Bear has
Oh,
spoken.
so she's the front row. We're in the back row.
That's special.
Oh, how terribly so. Who do you know? Yeah, yeah, like,
Twice.
I don't doubt it. You know what's happening. But I think it's
Hello. In an effort to be hospitable and make sure that you feel safe and comfortable before I get started, we just wanted to remind you we do have masks available if you feel like you would prefer to have a mask on. And then as well, after we share the space here, we'll go over logistics after the ceremony as far as food and everything else that we will be doing later. Started. Oh, as well, if you need to arrange the chairs to be more comfortable, maybe be closer with each other, feel free to move the chairs wherever you need to. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Judy Olguin and I'm the Executive Director of Bristol Hospice San Diego. On behalf of our team, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming here and sharing in this celebration of remembrance with us. Today we're acknowledging our loved ones who have passed. The ceremony to me is one of the most special gatherings we will have this year. Our team pours not just their skill set into their patients, but their love and passion for caring. This is our opportunity as a team to take time and give those patients we were blessed with to honor them. This ceremony allows us to join with families of those we served and cared for to recognize the imprint they had on us and the last part of their journey on earth that we were able to be there for. It allows us to be with their friends and families as well, to share moments with them in the celebration of the meaningful life they lived. My grandmother also received hospice care with us a few short months ago. Patients I have personally cared for have passed as well in this last year. Many other people who we may not have had the privilege of knowing have passed on as well. Today, we dedicate time to grieve, mourn, and celebrate each individual, acknowledging their person, value, and life.
Good afternoon. I'm going to read the invitation by Oriah the Mountain Dreamer. Oriah. I'm Kara, social worker for Bristol Hospice. Thank you. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling is true. I want to know if you can discipline another to be true to yourself, if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul, if you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty. All money does not do. You can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after a night of grief and despair and weary and bruised to the bone and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me to know who you are or how you came to be here. I want to know if you can stand to the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or with what or with whom you've studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in those empty moments. Thank you.
My name's Scott. I'm one of the chaplains with Bristol, and it really is an honor to be here with you guys today. As I sit and look at the ribbons and the crystals hanging in this tree, it's a little bit overwhelming to me. Think of each life that's so extremely significant and meaningful, and I think of all the relationships that they reflect. It's such a thank you for coming. I know as I see individuals here, each of you, to honor someone special, I want you to know that you matter deeply to us. Your loved ones matter deeply to us. As I talk, I'm going to use words like your loved ones or those who have died. But please know that each death is significant, which is one of the reasons that we hung these ribbons and we hang these crystals. It's just not a name or a random person. It's someone that you love with all your heart. Your loved ones are important. When someone we love dies, we go through many different emotions, often very strong emotions, which I'm sure you've experienced in your own unique way. These emotions do not always make sense, and often they sneak up on us in waves, sometimes like a tsunami. I'm sure you've all experienced those moments. Driving down the road, all of a sudden you find yourself unable to drive, tears pouring down your face because there was a song on the radio or a billboard or a random thought that flooded through your mind. And so you're racing to pull over so you don't crash your car. I've been there before. This is grief. You may feel like you have a hole in your heart. You may feel like you have guilt or anger, sadness or disbelief. The range of emotions is broad. Love and gratitude also mingle through those emotions. And sometimes we find ourselves saying, how can anger and love intermingle? This is grief. If you were a caregiver as well for someone who died, you may feel a void or a lack of purpose. There can be guilt, wishing that you had done things differently, done more, been better, and smarter. Often our lives are put on hold while we care for them. And when your loved one died, you struggle to find a way forward. So many other expressions. This too is grief. These are all normal responses. But I don't say normal to minimize it, right? It's not that kind of normal. But to help you understand that you're not the first person to experience these emotions. Although your experience is unique, you are not alone. When my father died, one of the things that caused me some of the most emotion was realizing that my boys would grow up without their grandfather. My youngest, who's 6, his name is AJ. He is my little soccer player. In fact, he had a game this morning. I got the report that he was in there, in the midst of it all, just where he likes to be. My dad, who was the sideline referee for most of my games, loved to watch me play. And he, I'm sure, would have loved to watch my little AJ play. Watch him running around on the field. And when I watch him play, I find myself thinking, Dad, you would love this. You would absolutely love this. And sometimes I cry, and other times I smile and laugh at how he used to yell at me from the sidelines. I think he was a sideline judge, so he could be close to the action. So he could really be in there and yell at me really good. There's grief and sadness in our families. And there's also great joy as I remember him. And I laugh even more when I see myself at my son's game, running up and down the sideline, yelling at my son, doing the exact same thing. And I can't help but think it's in my blood, to my wife's chagrin, because I'm usually too loud. I try to take as many chances as I get to share these memories with my boys so that they can know their grandfather, know the man he was, the impact he had on my life, and know that he loves them, even though not present with them, and to let them know that they will meet him someday. We carry our loved ones who have died in our hearts and our lives. You carry your loved ones who have died in your hearts and in your lives. In the United States, grief is often seen as something a little bit to get over. Kind of like you have a problem if you're grieving. But I would say that grief is positive and necessary. We don't grieve because we are weak. We grieve because we have been loved. There's a quote that, although it doesn't encompass the full scope of grief, has been meaningful to me. It says this: grief, I've learned, is really just love. It's all the love you want to give, but cannot. All of the unspent love gathers up in the corners of your eyes, the lump in your throat, and in that hollow part of your chest. Grief is just love with no place to go. Jamie Anderson wrote that. But it is more than just love. Grief is also how we learn to rebuild our relationship with those who have died. We learn how we want to carry them with us in our hearts. We learn how we want to remember them in story. We learn how they have shaped us. It causes us to dip into our well of hope and faith, and to reflect on what matters the most to us, to consider what we believe about life, death, faith, and relationships. Today I shared a small, of course, talk a long time about those together to celebrate and honor our loved ones who've died. Look around. We share a common experience today. Everyone is here because someone that was dear to them has died. Although you may often feel alone in your grief, today we see you and we sit with you. In the poem read earlier by Kara, it says, I want to know if you can sit with pain without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. Today we are together, acknowledging the pain of the death of a loved one. Today we sit with you. I hope you will find this as a safe place to remember and honor your loved one today. And may we each be blessed by the presence of each other's lives and love today.
name is Beth, and I'm one of the chaplains. Scott and I are the chaplain team at Bristol. And I want to say to all of you that fall is a really good season to tend to our losses. This season holds grief well. As the leaves die and fall off the tree, it reminds us that loss, though painful, and though it changes the landscape, it is also a part of life. Death-life cycle that we notice and honor what's in you. Welcome it. If you find things stirring in you that need extra support, have the wisdom to reach out and speak to a friend or a loved one, therapist, whoever it might be to support you in this time. In this part of the ceremony, we're going to honor the names as we did on the ribbons hanging from the trees. We want to honor the loved ones, our loved ones, by speaking the names out loud. Every 2 weeks, as part of hospice, we meet. Our interdisciplinary team meets. And that's the social worker and the chaplain and the nurses and the doctor and our director and those that care, and the CHAs at times join us also, that do the hands-on work with loved ones. And we meet to discuss how to best care each person. And when someone passes, honor them by naming them out loud, and by ringing a bell, and by taking a moment of silence. Sometimes we honor them by telling a story, sometimes a way they touched us, because we too grieve when you've given us the privilege to tend to your loved ones. And today we want to do this together. So I'm going to go to each family group or person, and if you have somebody that you would like to name out loud, please tell me, and I will say the name on the microphone, and then we will all say the name together. All right, so that will be our liturgy of naming of the names. I will ask you, I will repeat it on the microphone, and then we will all say it, the name together. And if you don't want to honor the name, we will just simply say your loved one and hold space for that. And this is Joe, my lovely husband, and in the moment he will be my Sherpa as we carry the box, the microphone around. So. Thank you, Joe. Rachel Rivera Klassen.
Rachel Rivera.
Donald Walsh.
Donald Walsh.
Robert Steves.
Robert Steves.
Manuel Vallejo.
Manuel Vallejo.
Donald Vanderstoep.
Donald Vanderstoep. Teresa Hogan. Dorothy Krause. Son and daughter, Joe and Gisette Irwin.
Joe and Gisette.
Fernando Rojas. Monica Elin. Braden Jackman. Oliver Jackson. Olivia. My mom and my dad. Joseph Broley. Elvina and Harry Bay. Abe Hubmeady. Husband. James Rodman. Shawnee Lauber and Gordon Christensen. Jordan Christensen. You looked at me 3 times. Gordon was correct. Gordon Christensen. Regina Gates.
Regina Gates.
Really.
Bradley.
I'd like to name Frank.
Bradley.
Thank you. I hope that the connection we feel together helps hold the grief and the loss that we feel, as grief can be so alienating and make us feel alone. But it's really one of the deepest human experiences that connects us all. I said the fall holds this season. In the Catholic and Protestant traditions, we have All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, which is right around the corner. In the Latino tradition, we have Dia de los Muertos, and we know that marigolds, the bright orange flowers that you'll see on all the tables, are beacons of light, telling our loved ones, we're here, we see you, come to us, be with us, be together with us, we honor you. So, thank you.
Good afternoon, Erica, Regional Director of Quality for the West Division. In the Lakota Sioux tradition, a person who is grieving is considered There is a sense that when someone is struck by the sudden lightning of loss, he or she stands at the threshold of the spirit world. The prayers of those who grieve are considered especially strong. And it is proper to ask for their help. You may recall what it is like to be with someone who is grieving deeply. The person has no layer of protection, nothing left to defend. The mystery is looking out through the person's eyes. For the time being, he or she has accepted the reality of loss and has stopped clinging to the past and grasping at the future. In the groundless openness of sorrow, there is a wholeness of presence and a deep natural wisdom. Have a great day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dawn Christensen, and I am the bereavement coordinator for Bristol Hospice San Diego. I've talked to you a lot of you on the phone over the last year, and so it's exciting for me to see your faces, and I recognize your voices, and to be here and share this time with us. I want to give you a little bit about, we're coming to the closing of our ceremony, so I want to give you a little bit about what's to come and invite all of you please to join us for lunch. We're going to do lunch after the ceremony, and then there's a table in the back where you can write your loved one's name on a, and then over on the other side of the parking lot where the water is, and if you'd like to say a blessing or a prayer or whatever, and then release the rock, throw it into the water as a way to release your loved one into God's nature, and to have them be received by the water. So the next thing we're going to do is a dove release. I've been waiting since June for this, so I'm really excited. But what we want to tell you about the dove release is a way to honor your loved ones, and it's also a time for us to release whatever it is we'd like to go with them. It could be everybody's in different seasons of grief right now, It could be a feeling you're having right now, a place where you may be stuck, or just your loved one. Imagine them on their way up and to a safe place. So we encourage you to just watch the doves go, take whatever meaning you want to take from it, and enjoy this time of release. After the release, we'll have Father Adnan come and give a blessing, and then you're free to go to lunch. So, Maria, please. See him under the tree. So a little shout out to Feathers from Heaven who have brought the doves today. Thank you, Father Adnan.
They are released. I think we need to be released too. But before I release you, my name is Father Adnan. I'm one of the chaplains. Maybe you don't see me a lot, but I'm still part of the team. I was asked if I would like to preach, and then I told them, of course, not. And the reason is because the experience I had in the past. One day after the mass, usually in the Catholic Church, you greet the people at the entrance. Well, a 10-year-old kid, he comes to me and says, Father, when I grow grow old and rich, I will give you a lot of money. I was so happy to hear that. And then I said, well, why would you do that? You're so kind. He said, well, last night when we had dinner, my dad told me that you are one of the best preachers we ever had. So I decided not to preach. So don't come to my church. But if you come, don't have higher expectations. I personally, on behalf of Bristol Hospice, for your trust on us. You open up yourselves and you share. You let us walk with you in this journey. And we personally, we thank you for that. And it's a privilege and a blessing to walk with you during this journey. So thanks everybody for being here. And final blessing. May you be rescued by love on the days that grief. May the Spirit bring healing to your soul as you sit in the quiet places, in beautiful memories, friends and family, as toward the future. May you walk gently through the world, loving and being loved in your life. And may the knowledge that you are not alone bring you hope. Amen.
So you are all free to come back and have some lunch.